Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another No Death Run from your girl Retro Star. Yes, everyone. This is the video I've been telling you about. I did a No Death Run from the NES called the Embassy Rescue Embassy Mission on NES. This is the same game. This was based on this game right here. This game is from the Amiga. This is the original called Hostages. It goes by Hostages. That game went by Rescue Embassy Mission, which is basically based on this game, which is the original game. So now I'm finna bust a short run on this. Really great game. As you can see, it's well done. This is the Amiga 1988. This is also a great game. As you can see, the sound effects is just really amazing in this. Absolutely amazing. Graphics is amazing. This is the originator, guys. This is the original game of the NES game that I played, which it goes by Rescue Embassy Mission. This is Hostages from the Amiga. And this is on other platforms too, other computer platforms as well. But this is at the absolute original right here and right now. Original. This is the OG. This is the original. As you can see, the loading times on the Amiga was really you have to tolerate that, because I played this off of the Amiga, so the load times are so lengthy in this. So it takes a little time to load up. I didn't get a chance to own an Amiga back in the days. I wish I had have been able to own one. It's a pretty expensive setup. If you were back in the days, you would have had to have been one of the rich people to be able to have a setup like that back in the 80s, 80s and 90s. Very impressive stuff. Top-notch games, top-notch music. You can hear the soundtrack. Soundtrack is amazing. As you're gonna see right now, we're gonna get all of our men lined up. We're gonna get Delta lined up here. I think we got Delta lined up. We're gonna get Echo lined up. Gotta get all three of your men in. As you can see, I did this on the did it on Lieutenant, which is the absolute beginning. I'm going to do a top level run in this. That means I'm going to do it at the hardest level, just like I did the NES. I did a Lieutenant run for the NES, which is the lowest level, and I also did the highest level, which is the highest level in the entire game. So now we got to get Mike in. We got to get all three of your men in. It's amazing that you can pretty much line your guys up the way you want to, versus the NES version. The time moves a lot slower, seem like, as you can see. And once you get all three of you guys lined up, really awesome game. Like you see, the visuals is really great. This is the original. Of course, the NES is not going to be as great as this one as far as visuals, but as you can see where the NES gets all of this from. This is coming from this game. You can see the game looks really nice. Huge sprites, smooth gameplay, beautiful sound. Okay, this is the loading time here. This is what I was talking about. The load times on the Amiga is really extremely, lengthy. So you have to sometimes sit there and just wait for them to load. And the load times are pretty lengthy. I mean, I'm trying to keep everything natural, even though I would try to speed it up. But I'm going to keep everything natural and just, talk through it. keep you guys entertained with my talking and with my blabber mouthing and all of that kind of gibberish. But yes, this is a very, very interesting and great game. I wanted to do the original. Rudy is the one that got me into playing this game. The NES game was, I think, was great. But this game is absolutely tops that one. There's a lot of things you can do that you can't do in the NES, okay? Of course, doing the sniping is important because the sniping will help you. You don't have to do the sniping, but sniping does help. You'll be able to take out men that you won't have to come in contact with when you get inside the building. So the more men you take out here, the less men you have to deal with when you get inside of the building. So let's say, hit the windows and hit those little shadows of the men are the enemy. And what you're going to do is shoot as many as you can. And of course, when you're doing the high level, you can't mess around here because the clock is ticking. You can only do just so much when you're doing it on the hardest level. Of course, the hardest level, you have to do everything in a short time. That's what makes it hard. But here, you could just pretty much coast and shoot as many guys as you want to without worrying about the time running out, because the time moves pretty slow. So just try to pinpoint and take out as many guys as possible. Then you can position your guys here. This is what you can do here. That's so amazing, is you can position your men. You can go anywhere you want to go in. So of course you have to watch out with this part because you can fall off and that will take away your life. But I know what I'm doing. And then you got to make sure there's no enemy. See how is the enemy down there? I absolutely cannot go down there where there's an enemy there. I will fall off of the building. So I would have to take care of that enemy. So yeah, there's 2 enemies right there. That's two more enemies, maybe 3, because sometimes they be inside of each other. You take care of a lot of enemies sniping them. You have one guy sniping them. Then that's less guys you got to worry about when you get inside the building when you go guns blazing. Okay. So like I said, the clock runs down. Normally, if I did this on a hard, I wouldn't be able to take this much time because I have to get inside of the building and get out in a timely manner. So of course, I'm just making sure I find where all the guys are, especially where the main dude is, so I can get in the window and I won't fall. So I think that's it right there because I see the line. I think that's where I have to get them right there. So basically now I can jump inside the window and start start my rescue mission. Okay, now we're inside of the building. This is the final stage where you go inside the building to rescue hostages. As you can see your guys on the map. Let me tell you something. When you're playing this on difficult, you won't be able to see nothing on the map. A lot of times I pay attention to where it flashes. It'll flash when there's an enemy approaching you. A lot of times, especially when I'm playing it on hard, I'll see that. I'll know that there's somebody coming, even though I don't see them. But when you see when you see it flashing down there, when you see the room flashing, that means an enemy is approaching. They're coming at you. But as you notice, sometimes if they hear you firing, they'll come to where you at. They'll run. If you stay there for a minute, they'll run to where you at, and then you can get a whole bunch of them all at once. You gotta be very careful not to shoot the hostages. If you shoot the hostages, your mission ends. You will not get total victory. The mission will be a fail if you kill the hostages. You are going in to rescue the hostages. Make sure you do not mistake the hostages for the enemy. So when you get in there, make sure you you leave the hostages alive and get all the enemies. See where it's flashing? See where that room's number is flashing? That's when the enemy is approaching. I usually watch that signal. Okay, I guess that's it, guys. That's the end of the game. I've absolutely beat the game flawlessly. And this is just Lieutenant. Of course, I'm gonna do this on the very highest settings there is, and I'm gonna definitely post that as well. Just like I did with the NES. I did Lieutenant for the NES, and then I did the hardest settings on the NES as well. So this is just one of 2 videos I'm doing with the Amiga Hostages, the original game of the Rescue Embassy mission. This is called Hostages from the Amiga. I believe the Amiga 500, I think. Alright guys, well, as you can see, this is RetroStar, and I thank you guys for stopping by and watching my run, everyone. So stay tuned for Hostages. Stay tuned for more Hostages on the hardest settings, guys. Alright, keep it fucking retro, guys.